Welcome to Smart Questions. This is where, as a team, we take challenges that have come up from conversations we've had with clients in the last few days, and we explore some of the key salient points from it. It's not all about what the textbooks would say, and we won't necessarily come up with all of the whole range of solutions, but the idea is that we cover enough that there's at least a good takeaway that you can have that will help you to address that particular challenge or question that has come up. So we hope you find it useful. Okay, welcome to Smart Questions. I'm here with Louise Blunt. So Louise, what's the question we're answering this time?
The question we're answering this time, Kevin, is I am the blocker for the business rhythm. How do I make it work for the business?
Okay, so perhaps we should ask first of all, what do we mean by business rhythm? Because that might not be a term that everybody's familiar with.
Well, the business rhythm, this is putting me on my hobby horse, as you well know. The business rhythm is one of the key fundamentals to being able to run an effective and efficient business and actually make money and take your business forward. And it's the thing that's often forgotten. There's a piece of research that says that only 10% of businesses are good at both strategy and execution. And those that are good at both really do fire ahead of their competition very greatly. Now, it's really interesting because that piece of research also says that 30% are good at strategy but not execution, and 30% are good at execution and not strategy. And actually, I would disagree with that a little. I think quite a lot of us are good at thinking about where we need to be and what the plans might be, which is the strategy piece, but actually delivering it, making it happen, that is the business rhythm. It is hard, okay? That's why not a lot of people are good at it. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it. It's hard, it's a discipline, and it needs to be really well embedded. So just quickly coming back to the question, I'm the blocker. I think it's the understanding of why the business rhythm is important, what it is actually there to do. The rhythm is about, understanding and reviewing at different frequencies what the business is doing, what the business needs to do, and then making sure that we all know what we need to do to drive it forward.
Great. So it's that combination, but essentially it's the bridging that gap, isn't it, between the long term and the short term. So we've got to move the business forward because we presumably want to take it somewhere. So wherever that is, but equally we've got to keep the plate spinning. So what's the right combination to make that happen and that everybody's in there? And as you say, it might be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. But we're passionate about the 90-day rhythm, aren't we? It's having that as the central part of it. But then you need to break that down in between it to make sure it happens. So with the business rhythm, then, is that something that we just do as an ad hoc type thing, meet up when we feel like it, or not?
No, absolutely not. This is absolutely fundamental and critical. We need to have an established rhythm. It's like the heartbeat. So we all have a heartbeat, and when our heart's beating fast, we don't feel very well. Similarly, when it's beating slowly. So we need to work out what the right heartbeat for the business is, what the right rhythm for the business is. And that's, again, a combination of the tactical. Is it every day? Is it every other day?
Okay.
Is it every week? Is it every other week? So once we've established what our rhythm needs to be, and that's for each time you bring a team of people together, remember, it has a cost. So it needs to have a reason, and the reason is to move the business forward. So it's, what are we here to discuss? How long? Who should be in the meeting? And what are the outcomes that need to come out of that? And something I always say is also, what are we not here to discuss? Make it really clear the purpose of the meeting.
Okay.
It has a set time. It has a set duration. And you need a good chairperson or somebody to keep that going and keep it to that, because it's about putting me on my hobby horse. The business rhythm is about the business. It's about continually moving the business forward. So one of the reasons why business rhythm fails, again, going back to the question, I am the blocker.
Yeah.
One of the reasons the rhythm fails is somebody says, oh, I can't make that meeting.
So what should happen? What should happen then?
Well, the usual question is, move it. And the answer to that is absolutely not. Those meetings, that rhythm, is not about the individual. It's about the business. It's about moving the business forward. So just because somebody can't be there doesn't mean, the business still has to keep moving forwards. So it is establishing that discipline that says we're here to move the business forward. Today we're on tactical stuff. On the weekly, we're on this week, next week. On the monthlies, we're on more strategic work. This is what we're here to talk about. And these are the outputs we will do. And then everybody understands what actions they need to take in order to move the business forward.
And coming back to that question about if I think I'm the blocker, if we've thought through this properly and we've worked out, that's the rhythm, there should be an agenda with each of those. And if there's an agenda that we follow every time that everybody understands, even if you're the business leader and you can't make one of those, it will still happen. It should still happen, and it should still happen well, because somebody can pick that up because they know the agenda and they can do it. And one of the we've got the same challenge. We're running a business, and we're doing it, rather than it being all reliant on me or you. We're implementing something on our weekly meetings, aren't we? What are we doing on that?
Our weekly meetings, what we're doing is we're moving the chair around. Yeah. So again, chairing a meeting is a skill, actually, and so it's important that everybody understands within there, what it takes to keep a meeting on track, to make sure that everybody has their say, that the loud people don't have the loudest say, and then the quiet people get lost, so that we have a really good interaction and everybody understands it right. It's interesting, coming back to the I am the blocker, and it's often that question comes from the sort of senior person in the company. And I think one of the key issues with that is often the owner or the MD thinks that they should be in everything, listening to everything and part of everything. And I think one of the keys within the business rhythm is understanding who should be there and who shouldn't be there. There is nothing worse than, go back to the idea of a cost. Everybody in that meeting has a cost. And if you actually worked it out and looked at it and said, blimey, what do we need to get out of the meeting to have a return on that investment? Yeah. It would really focus you down on what's important and what isn't.
Yeah. And, one of the things that we encourage people to do is, once they've got that agenda set, is to set the time for it and put a stopwatch on it, essentially, and make sure it's managed without. Good. I think we could probably talk for a long time around the business rhythm, Louise, but it sounds like what we're saying here is be really clear about what the right rhythm is for your business. One size doesn't necessarily fit all, but be really clear about that, and then be really clear therefore about what the agenda is, essentially, and who should be at that meeting, and then make it a habit. Stick to the times of week, of the day, and the duration of them, and that will then mean that you're unlikely to have any individual, whether it's you as the business owner or anybody else, that becomes a blocker for those meetings.
And understand that the rhythm it's not about the individual, it's about moving the business forward. And if you maintain that focus, you should see the value of it, and therefore stick to your guns, if you like.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Louise. I hope you found that useful and you've got at least one or two takeaways, things that you can do differently and implement within your business. If you enjoyed that, why not come along to our Scale Up Club? Just give us a bell. It's online. Doesn't matter where you are. You can join us once a month. And why not think about getting a copy of my book, The Entrepreneurial Scale Up System, full of practical ideas and solutions to helping you on your scale up journey.